Hello and welcome back once again, everybody, to Warmac 9's FTB Minecraft series. Nothing funny or fancy today for the FTB, but yeah, a little bit has changed since the last time I saw you guys. I skipped a day on uploading or rendering videos, but in the meantime, I was mostly just letting my throat get a little bit better because I had like a bite or something happen inside my throat that made it swollen. Right off the bat here, you might notice two small changes. I've upgraded these things into gold chests. I've made quite a few, and let's move that out of the way so I can sort. I've made quite a few additional resource gains since the last time we saw, mostly because I went on another underground mining expedition. It took several trips because I was using just a basic diamond drill. I really could have stood to have a advanced diamond drill, but you know, I didn't want to make anything major like a real equipment upgrade while you guys were not on screen with me. So I'm at a point where I've got a relatively decent flow of resources coming in. I'm getting a lot more things like cobblestone than anything because I ended up following the advice of somebody in a comment. Let me think if I wrote that down somewhere, didn't I? I thought I wrote it down, but I don't see it anywhere. Someone had actually suggested that I use some markers for my quarry, and I did just that. I stuck out 3 redstone torches topped with lapis lazuli, and I made a relatively large quarry here. But I also kind of shot myself in the foot on this one. As you can see a couple torches down there, I ended up going underground by a cave system right over there while this was still clearing out, and I think I didn't realize it at the time, but I cleared out a lot of the underground down here. I got 6 diamonds just from clearing out all this mess, and there was another one down in the wall down there that kind of intersected with these caves. So things that were easily visible and accessible in these caves, I cleared out most of on this end, and I don't even know on that end because I can't see that far. I don't see any signs of caves down there, so I'm assuming I didn't shoot myself in the foot too much. I can only hope that I'll get a couple more diamonds from that end. But for the most part, this thing is only going to be giving me cobble for the remainder of its duration. Really going to need to stack out some more coal coke. But I actually think I'm going to start moving toward things like electric furnaces because I reinstalled a mod that was common with the original FTB that was not common with the Direwolf 20 pack, and that was the advanced doohickeys, the solar panels, these things, those doohickeys. Advanced solar panels generate power even at night. I know I mentioned that in one of my other videos, that the advanced solar panels, just the basic one, has a max generation of about 32 EU a tick, and it outputs at 8 EU a tick as the maximum output. So you can, hook up about 8 machines that use 1 EU a tick, or you're generating an additional 3 ticks of energy per tick during the day, and then only generating 1 EU a tick at night, if that makes any sense, a tick being server-based time. So, yeah, now I have those. I can easily illustrate those here, I suppose. Advanced. And you'll see things like our advanced solar panels here, which you can be able to use into higher levels, like the higher tiers. But this actually seems like something I'd be able to access in relative ease, just because of, well, it requires radiant glass, which needs glowstone, and reinforced glass just being advanced alloys in glass. As well as some advanced alloy plates here. We're also going to need radiant uranium, which is just uranium bars surrounded by glowstone. I have glowstone, I have uranium. I could stand a little bit more glowstone, so I might make another trip back into the nether for glowstone at some point. But for right now, I was just like, wow, yeah, those would be kind of nice, and I could update my power output right here a little bit further. As is, I'm not exactly draining my battery here, so I'm doing okay, and I ended up running making an additional couple, I think it was 7 more solar panels, that way I could go ahead and slap out another low voltage, which is producing, again, another 8 EU a tick. It just doesn't have that internal storage of about 30,000 EU, and it doesn't have the capacity to generate at nighttime. So let's see. One more thing I needed to update you guys on. Coming down here, I've taken my coal out of the coal coke ovens because I'm up to about 6 stacks of coal coke. I think I'm good for right now. But my water tank has filled. That's 2,000 buckets of water right there. Very nice. And my creosote oil tank is getting pretty darn full as well. It's only 448-ish buckets of creosote in there. So that's quite a bit. Nether portal still nether porting. And yes, I believe that's basically all the stuff I needed to update you guys on in terms of things I've done. I was considering updating this to going from gold to a diamond chest, but I just can't see the investment in it quite yet, especially since my quarry doesn't seem like it's going to produce me a whole heck of a lot more at this stage. I haven't figured out the use for the henequen leaves yet, but I have found some corn, and I've been growing corn. As you can see here, not the band, but the veggie. And a couple cool things you can do with corn. You can cook the seeds directly, and the seeds themselves are able to be turned into popcorn, which give you a small speed buff. Or you can just consume corn by itself. Now, I think corn actually gives you a little bit more sustainable hunger, sustainable food bar than, say, a loaf of bread does. I can cook this too, can't I? Yes, I can. I can cook corn on the cob. That's actually how you get the most out of it, but I don't believe it's a super long period of duration in any case. It's just a little bit nicer than using wheat. And obviously it also grows a little slower because not only are you waiting on that stage 1 block, but you also wait on the stage 2, which actually has the plant itself on it. I also planted a couple flax seeds because I happened to come across those when I was clearing out a square patch of land. I actually haven't put anything on it, and I'm not sure if I will put something on it because, kind of spoiler news, I'm looking to relocate. This house is awesome. I love the layout of this house. This house is absolutely cool. But since I moved to the Direwolf 20 pack, I have access to a lot of new ores and a lot of new mods, and on one hand, that's awesome. On the other hand, I am all in pre-rendered world, so everything that I'm currently looking at and using right here is what was here based on the current mod pack that I had when I turned on the game. So I kind of have to go elsewhere to get to a different area that I haven't been to, something with new terrain generation. That way I can get some new ores, work on things like Thaumcraft, because I'm going to need crystals for Thaumcraft. And those infused stones and rocks are just not underground right here. Also, as you can see, I have a nearly inhospitable area of cows right here. It's ironic that I had to clear rainforest to make room for cattle. And here we can see the cattle are quite literally overpopulating. And yeah, that's I gotta go down there and cull that at some point, but that's not quite yet, if you will. So for today's episode, I was looking really to start with some upgrades, if I may. I don't really want to turn this off, but I kind of need to take this guy because I'd like to be able to throw out an induction furnace. Now, an induction furnace will constantly drain power as long as it's got a switch turned on next to it or some sort of redstone signal. But it also smelts a lot faster and it gets hotter, and the hotter it gets, the more power it's able to push at a time. Or maybe not necessarily so much power as it is just the fact that it's able to generate ores a lot quicker out into bars. As you can see, I'm not exactly having a real big problem with that, as my sorting machine only really goes into overtime if I throw a bunch of crap into it right here, which is what happened when I went underground. I ended up finding like 4 stacks of iron and like 43 gold, 6 stacks, 7 stacks of silver, just copious amounts of ores. And as you can see, I'm literally busting at the seams with iron and silver. I'm pretty good off on copper as well. I've only got a couple uranium and forcium. Actually, I have quite a bit of uranium. I was about to say, I thought I had a little bit more than that. Indeed, I do have about 30 uranium, so I could start moving into a little bit higher end stuff as well. For right now, let's go ahead and do the fancy pants sturf and upgrade this bad boy. Now, I know that this thing's going to be still coming through. Hopefully stuff will catch in the hopper without falling out in the bottom, which would kind of suck for me. But let's see. Let's see what we're doing here. I suppose I could also go ahead and preemptively prep. I'm going to need a machine block, 2 advanced alloys, and 2 carbon plates. Carbon plates are easy enough for the machine block. I already have coal already set out to the side. 2 carbon plates. I'm going to need 2 carbon mesh, as I've done once before, to make a raw carbon mesh. And then I stick this guy into a compressor, and he should pump out right there. We'll do that once more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2 for another 2 raw carbon mesh. Make this guy right here, and we will throw him in there as well. And that gives us these guys. Now you might also notice that I have a couple extra overclocker upgrades. I produced a few extra overclockers because I was thinking I could get above 4 on my macerator here, and it'd be able to help me pump out stuff a bit quicker. However, that only lasts as long as this energy lasts. The copper cable doesn't generate enough power going to the macerator at a time to actually keep up with more than 4. And to be quite fair, I absolutely spent my entire MFE out here by macerating a stack of coal on 6 overclockers. So yeah, it's not efficient in the least because you're gaining exponentially more power drain by having more than 4 overclockers. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that where it is right there. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Now we need some advanced alloys. Advanced alloys require 3 refined iron, 3 bronze, and 3 tin. Now, bronze is kind of weird. I always used to think you had to have the powdered version in order to make the bar version, but it doesn't always seem to be the case. Oh, I did also have a little bit right there. Actually, I can go ahead and take it out of this. Just do that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I went ahead and made some refined iron in advanced just for the thing here. Oh, I don't even need that many. Look at that. Look at that. We'll go ahead and toss these guys on in here. And while those are cooking up, we're going to look at my second project for today. Advanced diamond drill. Now for this guy, I'm just going to need 2 advanced circuits, which I already have some circuits preemptively made. I'm also going to need 3 overclockers, which I happen to have a couple spare of those. So yeah, let's go ahead and slap some of these guys out. For the advanced thingies here, we will go ahead and stick that there. These here. Not going to overproduce on these just because I need the basic level circuits as well. Let's see. What about an advanced chainsaw? What's that going to run me? Oh yeah, I did 2 more of those. I'll go ahead and make an advanced chainsaw while I'm here. I recently updated my tricapitator mod as well, so I can produce. Oh, very nice. I can actually make both of those this second. Let's swipe a diamond. And I actually updated my tricapitator mod to include the chainsaw, because by default it does not include the chainsaw, which I was like, well, that's a little odd. But, you know, I can kind of see that because it's a different mod, it's not always going to be up to date directly. So in any case, I'm able to say, hey, this chainsaw I can just stick into my configuration file and be able to then chop down any tree, and it works just like a regular tricapitator axe would. It burns the durability per block that's breaking, and it still clears out the leaves automatically. I don't have this one set to auto shear, so if I'm going to shear a tree, I'm just going to go after the leaves directly, not go after the base of the trunk. Now this one actually has a different. Yeah, this one has a different ID, so this one's not going to quite work yet, but I can always fix that, and that's fine. Cool deal. So that is that. We have this guy. Now we have this guy. Do I have anything coming through the works? I do not. Okay, let's take out these 2 overclockers. We're going to quickly wrench this guy out. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to stick this right here. Ah, poops. I need to go ahead and make my advanced machine block first. No. Fern. Got my induction furnace, advanced machine block. There's this guy here. We'll go boom, boom. Advanced machine block. Boom, boom. There we go. And now we're going to go this thing here, do this with this, and then line it with copper. Not sure how copper makes it that much more advanced, but it just does. Stick them right there, and now it's perpetually generating heat, just because this lever is on right next to it. Now what this will do for it is it'll make it go faster and faster based on how much heat it's able to generate, and it does cause a perpetual drain on the battery. So that is one downside to it. However, I'm not super worried about it right now. I'll be a little bit more worried at higher tiers, I guess. But right now I think I'm okay. My inventory is quite a clutter, isn't it? And that doesn't really seem to assist it much. As you can probably also see from my wall here, I'm quite well on cobble at the moment. I also made a couple extra for plant bits, because when I cleared off this area I used my chainsaw. But yeah, I'm actually filling this out quite well with cobble, and I'm going to be using that as a really hardy building material. I'll probably end up smelting some of it to smooth stone once this guy hits really high heat. So, as is, this actually runs slower than a basic electric furnace, even with the 2 overclockers or without the 2 overclockers. But as this thing breaks heat of like 40% or so, it's moving about the same rate, and then once it's to like 60 to 100%, it's just much faster. So if I get a slew of ores or an absolute mass amount of stuff coming in, this is going to be faster. And I don't really seem to have that going on right now, but just in case, you know? Alright, so what else did we need to make? We needed to make a bat pack. Now, I actually ended up using all my copper cables that I had remaining to make my circuits there, but I'm going to need some batteries to make some bat packs, because I'm going to need 6 batteries, as you can see, electronic circuit, and a 10 ingot. So I already have 10, that's quite fine. I'm going to need rubber. Where's my rubber? There we go, rubber. Let's just take a couple rubber. Split this guy up like so. Make some of these. Take this out. And then stick this up here. Stick this over here. I always do it like this because I feel like I make more wire per rubber, but I think it's actually the same whether you do 3 rubber and then 3 iron and then 3 rubber. It's supposed to be the same amount of resources used either way. I'm not completely sure. It feels like I'm cheaper by just running 1 set of rubber and 1 set of iron. In any case, each time you run 3 cables, it's like 6 right here, so I suppose it's even. In any case, we need to make the things. You know the things. You're actually probably keeping up better than I am at this moment. Let's split that like that. We needed 6 of these. Almost held my shift button down and made a lot more than I really wanted to make. Next, we're going to need our circuit, our 10 bar, and 6 batteries, and we have our bat pack. But we're not going to stop there. We have a lot of other resources as well. We're going to make a lat pack. Now, a lat pack requires blocks of lapis lazuli. As you can see, I have quite a bit of lapis lazuli. And I believe it was like this. Let's see, like this. Like this. Alright, we need 6. Oh, I made 7. Well, I can break that back down. Let's see, take that all out. Do that and that. There we go. Alright, so we have 6. We also needed the advanced circuits and the previous incarnation of the battery backpack, the bat pack. Stick that there. Oh, wait, no, I need the thing. I need the thing with the thing. You know the thing. I need an advanced circuit, so I actually have to go back into here, go into this, and then go ahead and make one of these using another 2 glowstone, 4 redstone, to the piece, and an electronic circuit, and we have an advanced. Go ahead and stick this guy up here, lapis on the sides. I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to work because, as far as I know, lapis doesn't actually have a energy storing capacity. But you know, it's like, hey, we had a previous backpack made out of 6 batteries. We're gonna stick some gems on it and make it nice. Alright, and I suppose we could actually take this a step further into an advanced lap pack, which actually holds 1,000,000 energy instead of the 300,000 that the basic does. But for that, I'm going to need a Lapitron crystal. Lapitron requires an energy crystal, which is diamond encrusted in redstone. You guys have seen me make one of these before for the MFE. Just going to line that with not glowstone. Silly Mac. We'll do it like so. There we go. And we also needed a pair of electronic circuits and 6 lapis. So we'll throw that up there. That's right there. And 2 of these. I always make these in bulk because I'm always going to end up needing them at some point or another. That's like a given in this in any sort of technical pack of Minecraft stuff. Do that and that, and we have this, goes this, and this, and now we have an advanced lap pack, which holds more energy in it by itself than our battery is simply capable of producing. But as you can see, it's also staying pretty full, so we're just gonna stick this guy in here, and we'll give it some time. Alright, well, let's see what we're at. Completely tapped it, but we've got about 618,000 energy on this thing, which is a lot more than what I could have held on either of my little devices I had beforehand. So now I'm actually sitting pretty well. I've got quite a lot of energy. I've got quite a bit I can do with it, and we can actually probably manage to do quite a bit now that I've got a nice new machine, new drill, new chainsaw. I can go down and actually strip mine. I can do a bunch of really, really cool things that would have been a little more tedious beforehand, especially since this guy just, like, liquefies, absolutely liquefies stone. I mean, it's no Vajra, but it's certainly very quick. Also, you might notice that Advanced Diamond Drill stays at the bottom of the screen whenever I'm using the drill. That's partially in part due to the Minecraft 1.4.6 update that shows you the name of whatever item you're highlighted over, because whenever you're actually drilling or mining anything with these machines, their item value changes as the durability changes. So the durability in this case is the energy quantity, so it's at 3478 colon 11. 11 is the stage that it's currently at. The more energy it has, the lower the number, so it'd be colon 1 if it was at full energy kind of thing. Let's see, I think I'm actually, yeah, it should be right over here, because that's my house. That's my house right up there. Now I actually have a mind on this side of the area. Oh my god, it goes through gravel so quick. I haven't actually mined on this side, and I wasn't planning on mining any this episode. I was just gonna go ahead and make some cool stuff for you guys, show you guys what it's all about, and kind of get myself set up for the next stage, which is going to be the journey. Yeah, I didn't really want to do this, but if you guys have been following the series, I'm doing most of the tedious, laborious stuff like this, mining, off camera, and even then, I haven't mined. The only time I've mined in the last, let's see, we're on episode 14 right now, 14, 15? The last time I mined was episode 8.5, and that was very, very minor, and I mined right before this episode. So I suppose that's the only exception to the rule, is that I have mined right before this episode when I was doing a tiny bit of touch-up work in the caves below this, and I kind of got carried away. And I ended up mining a lot more than I actually intended to, so yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Why you do this to me, drill? If you're not wearing a backpack when your drill goes low on energy, it doesn't work anymore. It has to have some level of energy, enough to be able to break a block, in order for it to count as it breaking a block. So now I gotta go back up and charge the guy. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I wasn't really intending on mining on this episode anyway, because mining can be really boring, and I don't want you guys to have to sit here and watch me mine this stuff over again, because this stuff is all really basic, and you've seen people mine this stuff a million times before. Once I get into things like Thaumcraft, crystals and ores and stuff like that, definitely. Oh, here we go. We have an excellent opportunity to watch this stuff go into the induction furnace, so watch closely. Bam! Quick, absolutely quick. I think this one also can do two things at once, but it pumps out only one stack at a time, kind of thing. I don't know. Let's throw some stuff in here. We got some copper, we got some tin, we got some monazite. Monazite's just gonna bypass the thing entirely, though. Also, I'm gonna toss all my fancy pants ores back in here because I don't need them this very second. All right. So we should have, yeah, those guys just went through. I know that there was a, in the rotary macerator, it does additive maceration. So if you had coal dust and iron in there, you can make steel macerated powder. It didn't use the coal as quick as the iron, if I recall correctly. Same thing you could do with bronze as well. You could be able to throw bronze in there and it would actually... copper and tin, and it would burn out the copper in the rate opposite of the tin and pump out copper dust, or bronze dust, excuse me. But unfortunately, I don't have a rotary macerator, so I don't really have to worry about that with this mod. So, throw these guys back in here. I do feel like I just burned a lot of resources, but I suppose it's in the best, because all this stuff I'm going to be able to use. All this stuff I'm going to be able to use. Unfortunately for me, I have to kind of relocate if I'm going to be able to do a new house. So next episode, don't worry, those of you that have been asking for red power and windmills, I actually just discovered the thing inside my NEI windmill. We have a wooden windmill here, and it actually, you're absolutely correct, it of course does require just buttloads and buttloads and buttloads of string. So we need 8 string per canvas, and then we need like 6 canvas per sail, and then we need 4 sails. So that's 24, and then 24 times 8. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Calculators. I do have a calculator on hand. It's called a laptop sitting to my left. 24 times 8 is 192, so I would need 192 string just to make one of those possible, and of course iron slab. Now I'm not entirely sure what kind of energy this produces. If it produces like bluetricity, then I'm going to need to make some machines that work well with bluetricity as well. But again, I do have resources. I have quite a bit of resources on hand. I feel like I'm starting to diminish my redstone substantially because I'm down under 6 full stacks, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so low on that. But I could do a lot worse, and the fact that I've got this many resources here and that many resources here, and I know there's ink sacks right in here. They came with a squid that died in the quarry. Okay. I could stand to do substantially worse, and I suppose that's really what I'm thinking right now, is the fact that, yeah, I need to move the house, and unfortunately I don't want to, but I need to go find somewhere else that I haven't rendered yet, so that way I can get into more stuff from more mods. Zirconium with decorative blocks and aluminum, or aluminium, depending on where you're from. Things like Thaumcraft, stuff like that. And this area was generated with Twilight Forest being available, and now I don't have that available, so yeah, I guess I could kind of reinstall it, but I don't have super big plans to go there. I find that those areas are always the most fun if you bring a friend, and this series was mostly solo so far. To that regard, I might want to bring on a friend or two, but I certainly don't know when I'd be able to do that, and I'd have to figure out how to shift this save file over onto a server. It shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be very hard. I'm not sure if TrueCapitator works on server or not. really the only qualm I would have would be bandwidth, because I don't have a dedicated server hosting or anything like that. And yeah, I know I could afford, I could pay out for one, but I don't really want to do that either, just because waiting on paychecks kind of thing. In any case, I really need to thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. And as you can kind of see here, I've got the start of where we're gonna be poking. We're gonna head off to the north here for finding new ground. Gonna see if I can get out of the jungle this time. Probably take a couple trees with me, and I will go ahead and time lapse me like building a bridge out that way, because I just want to do a straight line and then come back and collect all my stuff and then go back out. And yeah, that's probably going to be what you guys see next, is me relocating and finding a different place for which I can set up shop. Hopefully to make something a little bit nicer than what I have here. We'll take all this stuff with me from here and move it down there, and we'll see what's going on. Once again, this has been Warmac 9. I will see you next time.